It's so weird doing this with you, dude.
Nah. You're like, I'm like, damn it.
Welcome to another episode of Akash and Friends. I am with my friend Aditi today. Hello, Aditi.
You didn't tell me the name of the show was Akash and Friends because I'm not your friend, I'm your enemy.
No, but they are the friends.
Oh, nice. Nice. So you're showing your enemies to your friends.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, pretty much. So that
like
they know who to, you know.
Yeah. Because my friend's enemy is my enemy.
My friend's enemy is, yeah.
No? Yeah.
My enemy's friend is
My-
also my enemy. And my friend's enemy is also my enemy. Right?
You
My
know,
point is,
this is why we are not friends.
my
this
point
is
is,
why we are
you
not
could
friends.
be like YouTube, you could be like UP police or somebody and make a public Twitter list of all the people who are not your friends.
Yes.
You know? Or you can make a podcast out of it. And I think this is way better.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Oh, I'm so glad you came. I was actually, when I was thinking of this podcast and doing it, I was like, I need to call people who get like this first. You know?
Like,
just
you?
Yeah, this awkwardness has to first be understood. So you've known this awkwardness the longest, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Of all
Yeah,
the professional comics that are around, I think you were the first one I came into contact. You and another comic who I will not name, who asked me to send him all my jokes in an email so that he could give me feedback. So it was him and you, and you know who
That's
this.
really happening?
Yeah, that happened in 2011. It happened. I don't know if it still happens.
Oh, I know who it is. Oh.
And like I got banned also from Canvas later.
Oh, shit.
Not banned from my heart though. Still
Heyo,
a person,
heyo.
always empathy.
Heyo.
But you are hosting, there's a video of me, a voluminous version of me
Yeah.
playing a small ukulele on stage and doing jokes, and you are the one who calls me on stage for that.
You know, in fact, I remember you from open mic. I was hosting open mics at Canvas Laugh Club
Yeah.
and that time it's called what?
Comedy store.
Comedy Store. And I was hosting open mic in Comedy Store, and then you came, and then you were like this bottom heavy guy, and then you showed
Bottom
up.
heavy.
Listen, I envy it, okay? Because I am a top heavy person.
What is a top heavy person? I don't even understand
Because
this
my
concept.
torso is bigger
I
than
just thought you were calling me fat.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
But like,
that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, fat is heavy. So I am, I am the opposite end of your body.
Oh.
So you were there, and then you came in with this ukulele, and you're playing, and then you said something about having a really impressive instrument down there. And I thought it was the cheesiest, funniest, most ridiculous thing anyone had said on stage that night. And I just remember being like, what? And
Yes,
you won that open mic.
Yeah.
I remember also.
That video is on YouTube right now.
That's
You can
hilarious.
watch that video here.
Oh, in the link.
We never know where to point. I point everywhere and
Here.
Yeah.
Just watch it anywhere. But yeah, I remember that.
And then, cut to like now, we were doing Punit Wala episode, and I was telling Punit, one of my best advice has been given by Aditi, and you had said, comedy will never be your full-time career, treat it like your full-time job, it's a lifestyle. And Punit is like, yeah, but should you be telling this to open micers,
You got a damn good point.
Yeah.
But having said that, I was also dispensing like advice to you on the basis of being a comic part-time.
Yeah.
At that point in time. So I wasn't coming from a place of great wisdom or smartness.
But I feel like I turned it around and I said, no, but the idea is that it's a way of life, It's,
Yeah.
it's the cynicism is inherent, the observational nature is inherent. So then you can't. Listen, we can't hang out with normal people as much as we would like to anymore.
Yeah, that's been one of the tragedies, I think, of this. Because then you feel grossly misunderstood by everybody.
Yeah.
And then
And you always say something that offends somebody. So I don't know about you, but I always say something that pisses someone off, and for the weirdest reasons. Like I'll make a dead grandmom joke, and I'm like, "अरे पर ये तो taboo नहीं हो सकता यार, कुछ तो बोलने दो मेरे को." Like,
Yeah.
I feel so restricted with my friends sometimes.
No, I guess I don't. I've also, touch wood, I've had the time to kind of now surround myself with people who kind of get where the crazy is coming from.
Yeah.
And I've also learned to separate who I am as a person and who I am on stage a little bit more. In fact, what's happened, I think, over the years is that I've been able to extract the two people who I am on stage and who I am as a person and work on them individually. Which has been really nice. And that's only come to me in the past 1 year, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
This sounds like a, like listening to it feels like it's an Everest, dude. Like it's just how do you even begin? Like because I'm so same. Like
yeah,
there's
no, yeah, no. And it sort of, actually, I'll tell you the truth. I've gotten a swift kick in the groin by life in the past 3-4 years. In fact, like a week after I lost my dad, I was at Edinburgh 2017. That was my first festival.
Right.
Actually,
And
not even a week.
were you doing the full run?
Yeah,
or the week?
I did the whole run. And then, actually, I was already in London. And then dad passed away. I flew back to India for 2 days, or whatever, 4 days. And then I went back to the festival to do
Right.
the festival. And, it was the first time in my life I had to separate. Because I knew a part of me wanted to be at the festival
Yeah.
so badly that this was like this opportunity that would never come again and blah, 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 right? And at the same time, again, this was something that had never happened to me. I had never lost a dad before. And so I didn't know how to reconcile the two parts together. But that's when the split started happening, I think. I think
Right.
that's when I was like, you
You
know what?
compartmentalize.
Yeah. That I was like, it doesn't matter if, your cat is dead, your sugar is low, you still get on
Yeah,
stage
yeah.
because there are people who have paid money
Yeah.
and they want a good show. And in fact, dude, my first Edinburgh was so horrible. I mean, not horrible in like that way, but like my first one, on my 20th show, I blacked out in the middle of the show.
At show 20.
Yeah, I just blacked out, okay. And it was, like, I remember thinking that it's going really well right now. And that was a sort of and then somebody literally in the middle of one part, like someone went, like someone in the front row offered me tissue. And I was like, ha ha ha, and I made a joke about it. And then she's like, no, you're sweating a lot. And I was like, I sweat a lot all the time. And I went, ha ha. I wiped my face. And then the next thing I know, I open my eyes because the room is empty and I'm on the floor because apparently halfway through some line I just went like straight tar and people thought it was a part of the show. So like somebody was kicking me and being like, and then suddenly the organizers were like, okay, she hasn't been feeling well anyway. Oh, and they came at me and they like whatever emptied out the room and I felt so disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I failed in that moment to do my job.
What would you attribute that failure to? Is it just exhaustion? Or is it just the fact that it's been 20 days of trying to be okay when you're not okay?
Yeah, I think that was it. I think, because again, the compartmentalization began, but it wasn't healthy compartmentalization by any chance.
Of course.
Like, please.
Drugs!
Stop it! And so it became this and I think I went into like this oversleep phase. So I would sleep from I would sleep till like 2 in the afternoon every day after going to sleep at 9 in the night.
Oh, that's
Every day.
Yeah.
And because being awake didn't seem like worth
And, yeah.
any time or energy,
yes,
right?
Yes, I've been yes.
It was great though. I mean,
It is.
I was so well rested, completely depressed, but well rested.
Well rested.
Right?
No baggy eyes anymore.
Yeah. And so that happened, and since then, I sort of I realized that in fact, no matter what happens in my life, this is a constant I want. This is something that I want to have, that feeling in my stomach that, oh my God, I have to get on stage. Oh my God, I have to write something new. And oh my God, I have to get that validation. Even if it's in an open mic of 3 people. I want it.
The proverbial गांड के नीचे आग लगा.
हाँ, वो proverbial गान के नीचे. The proverbial गान के नीचे आग is when, and it became steady.
Yeah.
Earlier it used to flare up and then
And then die out and you would be...
yeah, it's kind of like an STD. It would flare up and then it would leave, and then it would flare up and then it would leave, and then I think in the past 2-3 years is when I was like, this is a constant. I want this to be a constant, and I will work towards
Yeah.
keeping it as a constant in my life.
And it's very interesting. Like, so this year, my grandmom passed away right before the Nastica tour.
Oh,
So she passed away on, I think, the Thursday night. Friday morning, we did the this thing.
Ceremony, yeah.
And then Friday evening, I'm doing live because Saturday se Nastica tour starts. And it did, I don't know if you felt this, I had this weird conflict in my mind where I was like, should I just cancel this one show at least? If not, obviously not the whole tour, but the one show.
Yeah.
And then I started feeling this sense of immense guilt because I was like, is it that I want this more than I want to be there for
Yeah.
my family?
Yeah.
Or is it the fact, like, am I telling myself I owe it to the audience because I need the validation, or is it because, you know,
Yeah.
what audience member would mind if I said, hey, my grandmom's dead, I can't come and do the show?
Though, do you know, I mean, like I had cancelled a couple of shows. I remember last year also, I lost a really close friend, and then I was in that process, and I cancelled a couple of shows, and then I got, and in Hyderabad, and then I got a bunch of really like angry emails being like, we came from far away, and then you didn't, and because it all sort of happened last minute, I had to
And you
cancel it
can't
last minute.
communicate to them in time. Yeah.
And you can't tell them that, this is why it's happened. And so it just goes out as a simple cancellation. And then my social media was flooded. They were like, what's wrong? This is ridiculous, And I, of course, I mean, deeply apologized. And it also, we're talking about it in this interview, which is whatever. And it's because it's you. I wouldn't have ever discussed it with anybody else, I think. Or anyone who was just doing an interview per se. But, you realize how much of my personal life do I share. Because you do end up oversharing when you're on stage. You do end up telling them कि sex नहीं मिल रहा है, कोई मेरे से प्यार
The
नहीं
only good
करता
thing
है.
is they think it's a joke. They seem to think it's a joke. I'm standing there saying, dude, I want to kill myself. And they're like, ha ha ha, jokes.
You're like, and so there's that constant line between how much you wanna and what version of yourself you want to put out. Is it that version that is already processed it through laughter?
Right.
And the part of you that's like, now laugh about it, guys.
Yeah.
I'm okay if we laugh about it. Or the part that's like, you know what, I'm a human being and this is me as a performer, this is what happened in my daily life. And,
Right.
I'm so sorry for the inconvenience I've caused you.
Yeah.
I don't know that line. I don't know that line and I don't know that space. But I think, as I said, just I've fortified myself better than I did.
But I feel like you're saying both of these are the same thing, but at different points in time. So, like, to give you an example, when I took Nasty out, I ended the first weekend of shows, which were the biggest shows also. तो साला लाइफ में पहली बार 500 टिकट बेचा है, ओके, और वो भी सेक्स शो है, और मैं दिमाग में मेरे क्या चल रहा है कुछ. So I told myself कि okay, you can break down if you want, but you can't break down for the next 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, I told them, guys, like, I finished it. I got everyone standing. I said, okay, now sit back down, listen.
Oh my God, you told them all.
Yeah, I said, I wasn't gonna come for this, but I'm like, thank you for coming, and you don't understand the value of this.
Of what's happening right now.
Yeah, because like for me, it boiled down to the fact that every time I would leave the house, like the last 2 years of my grandmom's life, she could barely recognize me. Okay, the only constant in our relationship was her asking me, where are you going to go next? That was the only thing that it was. किधर जा रहा है? अहमदाबाद जा रहा है? Oh, Bangalore जा रहा है? Oh, ठंडी रहता है Bangalore में. That was the only interaction. And I'm not gonna answer. That answer doesn't change just because you're dead, Nani. Okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't become I'm staying home. You get to get the answer. You get to give me 2 pieces of advice about a place you've never been to every single time. Okay? You get to do that. And I'm not going to back down from this. Because it just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Even actually, so my dad passed away actually 2 days after my Netflix special came out. And it was, because, and the funny thing is everyone, the last thing that, like when I put out this thing, the call for his ardas and everything. And then people just started like messaging me en masse, because apparently my father dear, who was also very sick in the last 2 years of his life, had been calling everyone left, right and center and asking them कि देखो अद्दू का स्पेशल आ रहा है Netflix पे. So then they're like, अच्छा, very 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 nice. अच्छा, ये Netflix होता क्या है? Then he got everyone to explain to him what Netflix was, how it was different from like Star Plus. And they were like, your dad didn't know what Netflix was. Now 40 people are telling me my dad didn't know what Netflix was, and they are the ones that told him. I said, my dad has been pulling a mailing list scam on y'all to tell y'all that his daughter got a Netflix special. What are you all doing? But yeah, and I mean, and then when the second one came along, I was very like...
Is that announced? Is the second one announced?
When I was doing Comedians of the World.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was sorely missing my dad's excitement.
Yeah, his PR.
Yeah, just this like push of...
Yeah, but I feel like that's our power. Like that's something we have that nobody else has, like as artists, because we immortalize these people through the stories we tell, right? Like it's otherwise it's just another name on a list, but now it's not a name on a list. Now it's like a story. Now it's a story that you tell, and there are other people here, and they tell back, and then it's not a name anymore. Now it's a now it's a whole person and a legacy and all of that. Like that's where we are so lucky.
Yeah. You know, that's actually something I was noticing is that all the comedians, and actually, I mean, like last year when I was in Edinburgh, there were 7 shows with the title Mother in it. 7
Yeah.
shows. 7 people, in a people of like 33,000.
Yeah.
But still, 7 people had chosen to talk about their mothers in that festival. And including my own. Mine was Mother of Invention, which was about my mother.
It's a great show, by the way.
Because
Because I've seen all the bits. Because you were workshopping those bits when we were doing the
Yeah.
weekends together.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a hell of a show, dude.
Oh, I'm so
Oh, the manual scavenger bit and all is from there, na?
No,
No,
was
that
from-
one you were doing for the poop. You were doing
for the Comedians of the
Comedians
World,
of the World.
which is
you
on
were doing.
Netflix.
Oh, the poop one was it's such a great bit. I still remember that bit. It's such a oh. But yeah, so you're talking about
So then, you know, even watching whatever Trevor Noah's last special, Son of Patricia. We are really moving towards. I mean, and I think all comedians once they hit their 30s, you know, they go into self-reflection and go into like what.
once all the drugs wear off.
Yeah, when you're sober suddenly at like 31 and you're like, what happened
Like
here?
you start running and all, and I don't know if this has happened to you, okay? I know you've been working out as well.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're working out or something, I go running, and then I'm running, I'm like, but why did I smoke so much, Akash? Why did you smoke? Why did you smoke every single cigarette in my life, I remember.
You remember? You know, I don't know. I have no regrets in that way in particular.
Obviously.
But
But my lungs do.
When we die, we will. You know, it's that you sort of turn inwards,
Yeah.
and it's also, dude, you spend your 20s being like, I want someone to like me, I want someone to like me, and then in your 30s, you're like, I guess I have to like me. Because nobody will like me the way I want to be liked.
Yeah.
And so,
It's too real.
so then that time you.
Aditi, you should have told me this 3 years later. This is really messing with me now. I'm sorry. This is the rest of the podcast, you guys. This is really fucking with me. I cannot. Oh my god.
Listen, you're gonna have to love yourself. देख
No,
ले
no,
तू,
मैं
देख
जूता
ले.
उतार रहा है. मैं
रोने के लिए.
मैं मांडी डाल रहा है. तबाही मचा दो.
And so
I'm sorry, I have to call an ex.
इसका देखो पेंडेंट में कोई जहर वहर तो नहीं है ना. And I think one of the first steps of self-reflection is where you came from,
Yeah.
and that's your parents. And so I wasn't surprised by any chance at the sort of almost explosion in I hate the word content, but content related to comedians' parents.
Yeah.
And the way we and also, you know what? It's the story you can tell with most confidence
Because-
of your parents.
yeah.
Because you have that ownership, you have that
कि मेरे माँ बाप है यार.
हाँ, तो तुम क्या, like nobody's going to be like, excuse me, I don't think your parents did that. Like you're like, no.
But I feel like there's a duality to it also. The fact that everybody there has also had either a parent or a parental figure in life.
Yeah.
So everybody's been told no for something for no reason in life, you know.
Of course, yeah.
And that's why those bits become like such seminal bits that you always
Yeah.
come back to.
I mean,
years
everybody has
later.
parents. It's the most relatable content in the world. There's nobody who's like, मेरी माँ नहीं है.
No, I mean there are people, but
But like, पैदा कैसे हुआ फिर? You know what I'm saying?
oh, that way.
हाँ.
Yeah, sorry. I think the context is मेरी माँ अब नहीं है.
अब
Is
नहीं
the
है, हाँ.
I used to do this whenever I used to do parents joke. I realized how many people are doing it. So I just started saying, so I have this one mom.
You know, how many people have a mom here? Give me a cheer.
वो तो करना ही नहीं. अब तो because I had once done a joke about that, and I said, doesn't your mom do this? And she's like, dude, don't. Like the guy was doing this. And I said, oh, she doesn't do this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, man. Does your mom do this? And this other friend, this bastard, screams at me saying, iski maa mar gayi hai. Why? I moved on. I could have completely avoided this debacle.
That's
He didn't even say it in English or it's just literally, iski maa mar gayi hai. That was what he said.
It's like dead, huh? They are dead. Don't ask again, they are dead. Like, what? This is a comedy show. This is a McDonald's, ma'am. Would you like some fries with that?
Okay, we will come back in the second half to talk more technically about what it's like to be in the international scene and all. However, I think you're doing a podcast that you should talk about.
Yes.
Is it? Can I call it a podcast?
No, it's called audio content.
Audio content.
with related video content.
Oh.
So let's
So
call
this,
it.
but with a budget.
Yeah. The name of the show is Women in Labor.
Women in labor. You can look at the camera.
Oh,
sir.
sorry. The name of the show is Women in Labor because The Economist recently revealed to us that since 2001, the percentage and the number of women, Indian women in the workforce is actually falling. Now, as India marches towards the 21st century into becoming a $5 trillion economy, as Nirmala ji says, then where are the women going? Where are the women going? Why aren't they working? And so we've done 12 episodes where we examine the phenomena of Indian women at work. And the name of the show is Women in Labor. Because we birth new ideas. Okay, that line is not there.
That's not there.
But you should definitely tune in. Thank you for letting me do the plug.
I just want to keep that as a ringtone now. I want my phone to go every time there is a message. Can we cut the out and make it available underneath this video?
Download it as a ringtone for your text messages.
Yeah, can you try that? Give me one more take.
I'm sorry.
Back in a bit. Right back after these messages.
You know, the thing that I think, you're saying you were surprised by the number of people that said yes.
Yeah.
To come and sit on your podcast and, waste an hour with you. And that is primarily
Which honestly a lot of people do otherwise in life.
That's what I'm saying. वैसे भी घर पे बैठ के खाली वो ही कर रहे होंगे. So they're like, might as well do it in front of a camera. And then two, dude, I realized that for the longest time, and actually for almost every industry that is around us, the world that we live in, seeks to acquire power through association.
Dude, where is Nishat for all this? Where is Nishat? Bring him back. I've been trying to tell him this for years. Go on, sorry.
And so, and I think what the world really needs is not power through association, but when you acquire your own power, I'm going to put this analogically in a better way, I guess. You're always begging for a seat at someone else's table because you think that table has power. You think that table has opportunity. You think that table has economic incentive to be there. But that's not all. And that should not be the case.
Yeah.
Because if you turn around, walk away from that table and sit down and start your own table, you will realize the amount of power, the amount of economic opportunities, the amount of social opportunities there are out there in the world when you're not vying for it, on one table.
Yeah.
And when you make your own table, then you get to decide. Then you get to decide that I will not have a table like theirs where it's, whatever,
room
it's
for lemon
bullying
pickle.
or harassment or whatever it is. And you decide that my table will be kinder in this way. Of course, you'll fuck up in 1,000 other ways on your own table. But I think that's what my takeaway from you and from watching you grow as a person and as a comic has been is that.
Thanks, man.
I remember, man, we were sitting in Juhu
At
Prithvi Theatre.
Prithvi Theatre. Oh.
And, and I think that was the time when you told me that somebody asked you to mail them your jokes.
Oh, yeah?
I think that was the time you told me.
But why did we meet that time? Do you remember?
I don't know. We were sitting outside.
I think what had happened is I had just straight up, I had worked up the courage over I think a week or something. And somebody had told me, oh, if you ask some of the senior comics, they might help you with joke writing. Okay, and the concept of it seemed alien. Why would someone agree to this? And because the one guy who asked for an email, so I don't know.
He's like, you want help? Send me your jokes.
Yeah. So then I had asked you and you were the only person who was like, oh yeah, cool, I'm there, just come. I'm like, hey, itna casual hota hai ye.
I remember, and also because and maybe it's one of my things also, I eschew any kind of, it irks me and honestly kind of freaks me out when people are like senior comic, junior comics.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. I think I've actively eschewed any kind of power in my time doing comedy.
And I think you've used the fact that you have some pull or push in the scene to help people do the things they do. You know what I mean? Like the only time I've ever seen, okay, because I'm the most anal when it comes to spots. Okay, like even asking spots. Like I didn't ask on day for spots until a year and a half ago, when I knew if I can sell the venue out, then I can ask for a
Yeah.
spot on an off day.
Yeah.
So like to see, like I've never seen you argue about a spot unless it's for someone. You know what I mean? It's always like, hey, can you put this one up? Can you put that person from that city up? Like, and that's what it's about, right? Because what most people don't realize is that it's in our best benefit that more people are funny.
Yeah.
And that there are more voices that are funny. Like, and that there are all kinds of voices that are funny.
Yeah.
And this whole association thing is such a pain. You know, there's this, I don't know if you got this, there's this award function called the Web Fair Awards. Okay? It's like the Screen Fair Awards? Screen Guild Awards? Something.
हाँ.
Film Fair Awards.
अच्छा.
का Web Fair Awards.
अच्छा अच्छा.
So वो लोग मेरे को कॉल करते हैं, बोलते हैं कि आप nominate yourself for a Web Fair Award
And you were like,
and thank us for the nomination. And I said, but who are you? What is this award? I don't know what this award is. Like, no, but you are eligible. I said, I understand.
I'm eligible also to jump into a river right now, but I'm not going to do it.
And that's when this concept of association, you know, came into my mind. Because who's validating who at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for my audience who doesn't know Webfair, I am validating you.
Correct,
So, nahi
correct.
tera award.
I just, you know, I'm telling you, this ecosystem, especially like, I find it really confusing. I find it really confusing when it's not based on like I don't understand trade-offs. I don't understand like that you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
You don't have to.
I don't understand it, and I'm very bad at it, and it's probably why I am sitting here. Because I'm not like huge and famous and too good to fucking have this interview.
Yeah, like you're one of the few people who asked me samne se, hey, can I plug something? It's not like other people just assumed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like it's I think there's a what pulls people like us together within the scene is the idea that we are very craft driven people.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day ना मेरे को तेरे को धंधा करने है.
Yeah.
हम लोग इधर बकचोदी करेगा लाइफ में, पर
Yeah.
काम के टाइम पे हम लोग काम करते हैं.
Yeah.
Right? And you have a very nice outlet for that because you've been going abroad and doing it.
Oh my God, I'm having such a blast.
NRI comedian Aditi Mittal. Welcome to the second half.
Oh, I love it so much, dude. I love it so much.
And it's
I'm
been
having
very
such a blast.
quick also, right? Last 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, 3 years. Since 2017, I've been going abroad every year for a couple of months. And like I went to Switzerland, I went to Australia, I've been doing Edinburgh now. And next year, fingers crossed, I got the invitation. I've already sent back.
Fingers.
Yeah, everybody, please, camera cross. I've got the invitation. I've sent back a response, and I'm hoping that it'll work out. Is in Johannesburg, and
They have a comedy festival?
yeah,
Ooh.
and it's just like I just want to go. I want to see. I want to do. I want to, you know.
Yeah.
Because also, I think in India it gets damn complicated, dude. In India, there's so much. And I don't know when I got stuck in that trap of celebrity, like where people were like, oh, you are a celebrity comedian. And I was like, I mean, first of all, there's a handful of people.
That is an oxymoron, I feel, in itself somehow.
Because
Like,
you can't be a celebrity.
and a comic.
The idea that a comedian is the kid at the back pointing and laughing at the fucking celebrities.
Yeah.
That's not, you can't be a celebrity and a comedian. And I know this is laughable because there's a bunch of people who are like, you think you're a celebrity? And there's a bunch of people who are like, you think you're a comedian? So I know that like, I don't know in India, it's a lot more complicated. It's a lot more, like the industry is so much more in the nascent stage, and then the audience is also so much more in the nascent stage.
There are so many things you can't talk about as easily, or just half your time is spent trying to explain your context.
Correct.
मैं डार्क स्पेशल टूर कर रहा हूँ अभी मेरे को आइडिया
हाँ, तो you're like, ठीक है. But then I realized that.
Sorry, but just thought of one punchline.
बोलो,
You know
बोलो.
what's sad? Having to justify killing kids in a joke in a country where killing kids is so common. Like it's like really like तेरे चाचा ने किया 2 साल पहले थे, you know, like तेरे को तभी प्रॉब्लम नहीं था.
तू क्या offend हो रहा है? Yeah.
तू किसके behalf पे offend हो रहा है, dude?
Yeah,
एक
yeah.
fictional baby मारा मैंने गांडू, बस करना यार, chill मारना 2 second.
I swear.
But do you feel like that happens a lot here? Like where it's just, and I'm sure this is all around the world, but audiences are becoming so polarized. Either I'm going to be offended at everything you say, or I'm going to be offended at everything you do. Like, you know what I mean? It's either, you're either too liberal for me or too right for me.
Yeah. You know, and so I was doing a festival in Lucknow recently, and they put me up on stage for the meet the cast and everything, which was their mistake. And then there's press and all, again their mistake. And then
I like where this is going.
and then one of them, you know, and I mean, it was because I was on stage with a bunch of really, really accomplished people. Again, their mistake. And then they ask me, and then one of the you know, the whatever the panel organizer or the host,
Yeah.
he tells me, he goes, "आप अदिति, हमने आपका कोई कुछ नहीं देखा,
That's a
कॉमेडी
great
नहीं
place,
देखी,
great place to start.
आपको कुछ नहीं सुना, लेकिन आपके प्रोफाइल में लिखा था कि कि आप सेक्स के बारे में और बहुत बहुत आसानी से बोलती हैं। क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि ऐसी बातें सुन के हमारी जो यूथ है वो प्रभावित हो जाएगी?" I said, होना चाहिए. And of course, there was one youth in the audience who was like, "What?" Everyone else is like, "ये पिटेगी कल newspaper." And I sort of like passed it along that, and then we were sitting again, and then for again my mistake. This was my mistake, but I sat down after the meet the press, and then somebody else came and was like, हम आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं कि आपने नहीं, you know, आप इतना बोल्डली बात करते हैं तो you know, क्या आपको नहीं लगता क्योंकि मतलब you know, यूथ का बहुत easily misdirect हो जाती है and all. And I just stopped and I said, भाई साहब, यहाँ से 300 किलोमीटर की दूरी पे एक हफ्ते पहले एक औरत का गैंग रेप हुआ था, और जब वो जिंदा थी उसे जलाया गया था, और उसके 4 मर्डरर्स और रेपिस्ट्स को पुलिस ने सरेआम बिना किसी कोर्ट ट्रायल के मार दिया था.
So, allegedly the 4.
हाँ, तो आप बताइए हमें कि जो मैं बोल रही हूँ वो यूथ को ज्यादा प्रभावित करेगा या जो दुनिया में हो रहा है वो यूथ को ज्यादा प्रभावित करेगा? उसके दौरान उसके on the basis of that I will take blame.
Yeah.
And he just stopped and he looked at me and then he's like, अरे ये तो बहुत सीरियस बात बोल दी, आप तो नॉर्मली जोक बोलने वाले हो. And I said, जी जोक तो ये बात तो है कि ये सीरियस बात है और आप जोक डिमांड कर रहे हैं. That is what the joke is. Is that this has happened and you're demanding a joke out of me. I don't know. I sort of.
Huge shit is a stupid answer. Like you're telling, like firstly though, you can't have a freedom of expression conversation in India anymore. So I'm just gonna let it slide. But my defense in colleges has been ki, like I tell the professors ki, listen, I might cuss tonight. Okay?
Yeah.
I know you specifically told me not
to,
but I might cuss once or twice.
Yeah.
Just remember that nothing I do tonight, and you can vet this, is nothing tonight is worse than what your kids are listening to in a Honey Singh song.
Yeah.
Nothing tonight. I assure you, I will not ask any woman to forcibly fellatio my aloo ke pakode. I will not, you know, I will not threaten violence against any, everybody, yes, but any one person, never, you know, never. I would say, yeah, kamra jala dete, but never be like, you know, hey, like that's not cool, you know, because I think if you kill one person, you get caught.
Yeah.
If you kill a large population, you do well in life.
You become the Prime Minister. You become the Prime Minister. You have to walk in right now with chai. With chai. How appropriate.
दे दादा, दे चाय दे.
Appropriate.
Thank you.
How appropriate. Thank you, bhai. Nothing, just appropriate.
God damn it. We'll have to censor your name in the podcast and all now. Don't you just hate liberals, Aditi?
I just, you know, these Librandus, I tell you. The Librandus with their YouTube series and their podcasts, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you do audio content. How I've done one international festival.
Hanji.
I applied online.
Hanji.
I sent them a video. And then they told me, yes, you should come. I said, yay. Then they said, buy tickets and come. And I said, oh. And I never realized that a lot of festivals expect you to pay for travel and stay. I said, oh, I'll get to go to the US and I'll get to do shows for people there. And that was a good learning experience. But if you're a comic in India, like, is that where it, like, where does it even begin? Like, I don't think, like, most people don't even understand what Melbourne Comedy Festival is as a, what is even a festival. So I think we should start there.
Yeah. I mean, because we don't have the idea of festivals in India is not very it's not very popular.
Yeah.
And then
Unless it involves a bunch of guys in a truck harassing girls.
I'll tell you the truth. I've been like all the opportunities I've had have like I've been offered them, and I like people often ask me like, how did you choose to go to Edinburgh? I have no choice here, my friend. Like if I get offered this, I will like
Yeah.
go. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not even a. It's an honor to I think be invited.
Is
for,
it also sometimes a strategic decision? Like for me, one of the reasons I would never approach people for work is that I feel like, the things I want to do, I'll wait till I can afford to do them myself.
yeah, and then do them. Yeah,
And do them. And,
Yeah.
if I go to them, then it's already like this, I feel like there's this, I'm on a back foot already.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
most I can do is tell you, hey, I exist, okay, bye. And that's...
Yeah, and so I got approached by Soho to do this the first time around, and they have been so kind and so nurturing. And I think what's different, I think, is that, and especially when I went there, dude, I realized how out of my depth I was when I got there, and because by that time I had sort of already moved into. The formation of the Indian market per se is again in that Germanic stage, but it was still becoming something, right? And that time, wo Hindi punchline, urban Indian thought, wo sab chal raha tha, right? And then suddenly you go to a different country and you have to talk to them about yourself. And I realized if I'm the same thing that I was doing here, which is explaining myself as an urban person, was something I had to do there, was explain myself as an Indian urban person.
Yeah.
And it annoys the hell out of me that every year that I go, they'll be like, oh, you have to do one joke, no, about how you don't speak English, or you speak in this accent, or that your name is not English sound. And I'm like, yeah, how many years will I have to come and do the same, like,
Yeah, when
that,
you-
like, at the beginning of every hour that I do, I'll have to be like, by the way, guys, this is my accent, get
Yeah.
used to it. And by the way, guys, I'm from India, get, that place where that happened. I'm sort of like I sort of still am grappling with that, how far I can go sort of between the two markets.
Right.
And what is in common, like one thing is in common is that every time I have thought that I'm worried that the audience might not get this, they've gotten it.
Yeah.
Whether it's in India or whether it's abroad.
Yeah.
If it's something that I'm really convinced about and I really believe in, and I'm like, I hope they get this.
Yeah.
Man, 99% of the time they get it.
I feel like it's not them getting it. I feel like it's you explaining it. I've seen you do bits like that. Like you're talking about manual scavengers. Who talks about manual scavengers in a comedy show, by the way? It's the most depressing thing. And it's like I've seen it like Canvas Gurgaon. Like half the audience is sad. And then others is like, no, but this can be funny. and then you sell it. Like you really believe it. So you sell it. I think it's a lot to do with how well you sell it. I don't think it has as much to do with their minds being opened. I'm sorry. I don't believe in y'all. I don't believe in y'all. I genuinely don't. I appreciate you. But let's be frank, Come on. Wakanda forever, it seems. I don't trust them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it is a two-way street, right? It's how convinced you are of it, and then how well you sell it, and then I mean, like sometimes they have no choice but to
They
get
have
it
no
because they're like,
choice.
यार इतने convincingly बोल दिया तो सच्ची होगा, like
I feel
अच्छा
like
ही
you're
होगा.
on that side. I genuinely do. I went to law school. I know this shit.
That's damn funny.
How was the first? So the first one was Soho, right? Like for a month.
Hanji, and so the second time was Soho as well.
Okay.
And dude, I'm telling you, so when I went, that was such a crazy time in my life. The Netflix special came out. That night, I did the first trial show of, my next show, my Edinburgh show. And then a week later, I left for Edinburgh. And then, did that month at Edinburgh. And it was so wild how everything was happening at the same time. The thing I realized was that I'd written a show in India. I went to the UK and I dropped about 55% of that show.
Right.
And then I wrote a whole new bunch of stuff on top of that. Right? So most comics, by the time they get to Edinburgh, they're all like primed. They've made their show everything that it is. As an international comic, when you're going there, you're actually going to build a show in Edinburgh. You're not... And I remember the first time, they were like, oh, some comics are like, yeah, I've been workshopping my show for a year. I've been workshopping it since 1341. I was like, holy shit, I came here. And then I realized that about 55% of the things that I was talking about needed more context. Yeah. And so I'm going to spend the next 30 days. Yeah. So that's why when I go to Edinburgh also, I think the first time I was in all my Great Depression and everything, I also realized I had so much work to do. because every day that I would have a show, I would come back with a new revelation of things that didn't work, or things that, you know, I need to explain better, or things, you know, places where I need to be funnier. And that sort of, like, now I've realized festivals are actually an international festivals are an incredible amount of work. When I went to Switzerland to do Montreux Comedy Festival, and that was just one show, and it was a show called Trending Comics, right? And it was, I mean, that's what is amazing, right? It was a 7-day festival, all held in a 1,200 seater, with 6 shows in French.
Yeah.
And 1 show in English. And so I was a part of the 1 show in English, and they were like, oh, so when would you like to come down? I said, I would like to come down like when the festival starts. I need to watch the festival to see what's going on, to see where the mindset of the people is. Like, if they see an Indian, will they still want to hear, oh my God, somebody got hurt real bad? You know, because there was a couple of like French Arabic comics who were still doing those, like, you know, and then they went and they had a blast, and, you know, that stuff they were still doing, and that was working smashingly. And so I was like, oh wait, then do I need to go do that? Because then you have to be cognizant of the audience you're talking to, right? You have to. And the thing is, I went a week in advance. I saw a bunch of French comedy. I did not understand diddly squat.
Rhythms you still must be getting.
But that was it, you know. And actually, that experience blew my mind, because I was like, I think that there is so much here to learn from comedy. Comedy is also, I mean, it's what you say and what you do.
It's the smallest things.
But it's also the stuff you don't say.
Yeah.
The stuff you don't do. Like and oh my God, actually, I mean, this is going too long and winding. I'm so sorry,
Fine.
but like this thing, I started learning the uke recently. And
Aditi, recently is a strong word. It's been a while. I've been seeing you struggle.
okay, fine.
Learning also too
8
liberal a
months.
use
8
of
months,
that word.
8 months. And and my teacher, first day, is some like 11-year-old child, okay? And who's like shredding on the uke, okay? I'm like, ये मतलब Jesus है.
Aditi, child level के लिए भी 14 साल का होना चाहिए वो.
Sorry, my bad. He was 9. And so then he turns me and he goes, Aditi, what according to you is music? And I was like, music is the rhythmic placement of the sounds on top of a beats, thereby producing a... So he's like, okay, Sinhal classes. Music is sound plus silence.
Perfect.
And I was like, miss? But he, like, and that night, I had an open spot at Canvas. The Laugh Club was still around. I had an open spot, 4 minutes I had signed up. I went and I had this whole bit about, you know, my dad, he's so Punjabi, he doesn't exercise, only my dad. I got on stage and I was thinking about it. And I got on stage and I remember I was folding my sleeves. And then they announced my name. I walked up on stage and I was like, you know, guys, I had all these jokes prepared about how I want to, like, my dad is really Punjabi and he doesn't exercise and all that stuff. But I realized it doesn't matter. So somebody was like, so I'm just gonna, it's 4 minutes. It's not lost to anybody. And I just stood there for 4 minutes.
In silence.
In silence. And what blew my mind was that people started finding their own reasons to giggle.
Yeah.
Right? They were watching me be supremely uncomfortable because I really didn't know. Like, my hands suddenly were like, oh my God, where did I get these things from? And I placed the microphone down so I don't have to touch anything.
Oh, that's even scarier. Now you have nothing to hide behind.
And I just stood there.
Yeah.
And then, like, one group of people started laughing here, okay? They were like, what is she doing? What is she doing? And then because of them, somebody else started laughing there. And I ended up looking there and they're like, so nothing? And I was like, shit, nothing. And oh my God. And like, when I left, I got a proper applause.
Yeah.
because somebody was laughing there, and then I was like,
ये सब के बाद इन पे तुम कैसे भरोसा कर सकते हो? क्या कर रहे हो तुम लोग?
But luckily it was only a 4-minute spot. Okay, I would never take a 10-minute spot and just be like,
This reminds me of that Ellen bit, you know, she did with the Whopper. So she had to do 4 minutes or 9 minutes or something. And she's like, she comes on stage with a Whopper and she's like, sorry guys, you know, I drove here, I haven't eaten all day. So yeah, I have to tell you a joke. So this one time, and then she just chewed. And so, that's the entire set.
Oh my god, that's awesome. And so, you know, like being able to use things like that. And so, I mean, the use of silence in comedy and all that stuff. Or the use of silence, the use of your body. Earlier, I would walk around and, you know, do that thing that I think lots of men do is
Presenter
like...
of punchlines,
yeah,
Aditi Mittal.
yeah, and like sort of like, you know, you take your place, you're like, yeah, so anyway guys, punchline. And I remember, and only like 2 years ago is when I've just started placing the mic
And just talking.
and I don't have that, like, I don't have the swagger and I don't have the space and I don't have the body language. And I'm trying to see if it still works.
No, but you have, what's it called? Jokes.
Yeah.
Something you have.
I mean, touch wood, right? Touch wood.
No, wood has nothing to do with it. I've heard. तेरा ही है.
हाँ, वो तो लाना पड़ता है ना, unfortunately. Jokes सुनाने के लिए jokes
I think
लाने
you
पड़ते
have enough to have a sustainable club career in England. If all else fails, you have your tight 30 at least, right?
हैं. Yeah, and
Isn't that a great
Should I
feeling?
leave?
Yeah,
No,
right now.
fuck it.
This is perfect. I think we should both
अरे
leave.
रात के 400 पाउंड बनाने के तो मतलब why the fuck wouldn't I?
इतना पैसा मिलता है?
अरे because उनका मार्केट इतना बड़ा है ना, उनका मार्केट इतना बड़ा है. They have like 60 clubs.
Yeah.
And then, you know, one
And they're
comic
doing
going
two, 3 a night.
One comic going for like whatever 3 shows a night.
Yeah.
You'll make aram say, even if you get 60 pounds a show, you're making 180 pounds and that's all sustainable living.
If there is a way to do that, but then also get a flat in Khar.
Wait, west or east?
नहीं नहीं हैबिटेट से 15 मिनट दूर. That is why I want Hyperloop to happen.
Yeah.
Eventually, India England will also be 25 minutes.
वेस्ट खार एजुकेशन सोसाइटी के पास कुछ एक ऐसा गार्डन है सर. दो प्लांट्स ऐसे साइड में.
नीचे बच्चे खेल रहे हैं.
हाँ सर, स्कूल का घंटी टन टन टन.
नहीं.
सेंट तेरेसा स्कूल का.
मैं सिगरेट बट एम करके मार रहा हूँ उनके सर पे.
That's so fucked up. That's so fucked
I
up.
would-
That's children.
at least I didn't
At
just-
least not a cigarette butt.
Okay, sorry.
A matchstick.
Matchstick.
Properly.
जला के
Yeah.
मैं तो फूकेला भी नहीं, मैं तो सिर्फ बट तोड़ के फेंकने वाला था. आपने कुछ अलग लेवल पे ले लिया है. I feel this is a good place to stop. I think this is the yes. So that now tomorrow पत्रकार छाप पाए अदिति मित्तल, advocate of burning small children.
मैंने like आपको पता है इस देश में क्या हो रहा है जो आप मुझे बर्निंग चिल्ड्रन के जोक्स पे.
Hey, but thanks for coming for this, dude.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
I
dude,
really
this is
appreciate
so
it.
great. No, it's
No.
nice. I think this is the only way I can hang out.
Yeah, when you get a camera and there's a podcast recording happening.
Yeah, it's the most conducive way for comics to hang out because that way we have to be nice to each other even if we don't want to.
We have to be nice to each other and we don't even think like कि यार लुक्खागिरी करके आ गए.
Yeah, and
You're like,
plus-
नहीं दूसरे लोग हमारी लुक्खागिरी सुनेंगे तो ये
It's even somewhere it
Productive
makes,
लुक्खागिरी हो
yeah,
गई, हाँ.
as Puneet says it, गांड मस्ती.
GM.
Yeah, but thanks for coming. If you want to watch Aditi's podcast, it's called Women in Labor. Sorry, if you want to watch Aditi's audio content, it's called Women in Labor, and it'll be on Spotify and everyone.
It'll be on every platform.
You can follow Aditi on the Instagram as Adi Mitsi. Is it still Adi Mitsi?
Yes, it's that.
You know, it used to be Arai Aditi. And,
No, Twitter was Arai
and I used to think it's Auri Aditi.
घटिया.
Because I am inside my head Maharashtrian still. So I said,
Auri.
yeah, औरत औरी कुछ रहेगा ऐसा.
Somebody came and told me, is it Arai Aditi? And I was like, that's what it is.
I तो always said औरी. I remember
औरी चौरी.
you had to correct me once saying साले ऐसे सी तेरे को अक्कल नहीं है. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Watch us online. You know how to subscribe to both of us. You know, if you are using this, then you are mostly
Aware.
sorted in
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
You don't need anything else now. No job, love, nothing. बस ऐसा घूरा ऐसा जानवर की तरह. Thanks for watching. Bye.